Alright guys, yo, what is up? It is Great Zage and I'm back on this channel to post What If Belle Had Yami Sukehiro's Powers Part 2. Now if you guys, I don't know about y'all, but I practically hear it in my voice, the confidence, as I have been doing a bunch of schoolwork. I have been trying my hardest and also been playing a new Yu-Gi-Oh game, but doesn't matter about that one. But still, I am really glad to be posting on this channel. Not gonna lie, I've been thinking in my room for like the past, I guess you could say for about like almost an hour just of what I should do for this part, and I finally came up with the idea for it. So yeah, I hope you guys do enjoy this part to this what if. I'm personally am gonna enjoy it because I was like, sort of just thinking about it for a while now. But either way, hope you guys do enjoy, and either way, let's get started. Yeah.
She gripping that dick like she was a lost star. She party at night like she was a rock star. She singing my song like Bella-dee-da. She calling me daddy but not her father. Lil' Billy been thirsty like big as some water. Could give you the world with the wave of a wand. You feel me? Our bitch Cosmo Wanda.
Alright guys, so let's begin this what if. So we begin this what if with Belle and Hestia as she was right now screaming at the top of her lungs. How could this be? She would say as she goes ahead and passes out. Now at this, Belle, while in the corner, would just think like, what the heck is up with her? She does this almost every single day, he would think. But then again, you can't really go ahead and guess your goddess. It's their way of acting, I guess. Now, the reason why Hestia passed out is because of what she just found out about Belle. So we're going to go ahead and do a little bit of a recap about what has happened. So ever since that day at the, tavern, Belle and Hestia eventually got up the next day to go ahead and find the house like they said. Now, while Belle was super busy on finding the house, Hestia sort of transformed that outing into a date, trying to take Belle all over different places in the town, getting crepes, watching the sunset. And although Belle was, he could already tell her intentions, he didn't really mind. In fact, even though Hestia was a goddess, he still considered her one of his friends and also one of his precious people, so he really didn't mind spending time with her. And eventually they did find a house. The house had 5 rooms, which, yeah, like 5 rooms, bro. It was a 2-story house, and it already looked really good on the inside, considering the fact there was already good furniture and enough room in there. Now, at this, it was in no way cheap. But then again, Belle, due to how much she's been adventuring and everything, he could obviously pay for it, considering like the boy has money for days. So he goes ahead and buys the house, and pretty much him and Hestia move in there. However, due to the fact of them moving in there, Belle realized that they're gonna have to once again find a way to save up all their money, considering the fact that unlike in their old house or their old home, this one has more space than the old one. Plus, in that old one, whenever Belle brought back a bag of money, he just throws it in the corner until it piles up. So with that, Belle goes ahead and actually uses the basement, which yes, the house has a basement, to go ahead and sort of just put the money in there, as it sort of becomes a vault. Yeah, he turns the basement into a vault. And it had a lot of space in there, so yeah. So after that, Belle, now that all that was taken care of, Belle realized that he still had a bunch of money, so he goes ahead and tries to buy a new weapon. Considering the fact that his katana is sort of worn down due to the fact that he's been using it for a while, plus due to the fact that Belle sort of is like extremely powerful, that his weapons can't handle his strength. So he didn't want this katana to break, so he goes ahead and actually goes to a very familiar place in the town to go ahead and buy his weapon. Now he gets another katana, this one actually being the color of, a bronze one. He didn't really mind the color, although if he were to choose a color it would be black, but then again, heck, you gotta make do what you have. He could obviously buy like a different one, but then again, he doesn't want to go ahead and waste too much money. Considering the fact, like I said, Belle isn't really focused on all about the money right now. He's more or less focusing on just trying to adventure and enjoy his life. Now, when he does that, he goes ahead and actually returns back into the dungeon to adventure. And he does the same routine like he does, go in there, actually go to a higher floor, considering the fact, like I said, he's like powerful. And he goes ahead and returns back with a bag full of crystals, which he exchanges for money. But this time something different happens. When he goes ahead and returns home with the ginormous bag of money, he goes ahead and puts it in the vault or in the basement of his house. He goes ahead and actually lays down on the bed on his front, of course, considering the fact that Hestia actually wanted to check his stats again, even though she was preparing herself not to pass out, considering the fact she still can't believe how strong Belle was. However, this time she just couldn't help it, because when she checked Belle's stats, it seemed like he unlocked a skill. And when she read the skill, she nearly had a heart attack. This skill practically allowed a user to become stronger due to how strong their emotions are. Now, Belle, even though Belle may not seem like it, his emotions are always like running at high, as his emotions are mostly just to enjoy life, and that's like his strongest thing. Like, he always enjoys a good fight, he always enjoys it, and pretty much that's a very powerful emotion. So due to that, he's becoming even stronger. And now at this point, Hestia is now panicking, considering the fact that now she doesn't even know how. She now knows that she definitely has to keep Belle a secret from any of the gods or goddesses. Belle is just going to become more and more powerful. He's going to gain more and more attention, and that's just going to make the gods want him more and more. And this is something that Hestia really has to cope with. As we now go ahead and cut to the present, Belle was just looking at his goddess, who was now just, right now laying in her own bed in her own room, which, yes, Belle actually went ahead and got separate rooms for him and Hestia. Even though Hestia has actually tried to sneak into Belle's room to sleep next to him, he has told her multiple times that, hey, the reason that we had to sleep together back in the old home of ours was because we didn't have enough space, but now we do, so you can go ahead and sleep in your own room. Even though she tried to protest, he wouldn't have it, saying that a goddess deserved to have her own bed. So he went ahead and pretty much allowed it. Even though she was extremely upset with him, she really couldn't change his mind, considering the fact that, like I said, Belle, if you're a friend of his, he will take care. He will make sure you're okay. So yeah, even though Hestia still has complaints about it and has multiple times tried sneaking into his room just to sleep next to him. So yeah, pretty much that's how it's been. So while Belle goes ahead and looks at his goddess, he goes ahead and sighs. What am I gonna do with her? As he goes ahead and picks up the sheet of paper, he sees that he actually has a new skill. And when he reads it, he actually goes ahead and says, well, hot dang, I'm actually pretty impressive, he would say. As unlike in canon, Belle actually now knows about his skill. So of course he's just not. However, this Belle's not all over enthusiastic, because then again, he really didn't care. Come on now. Yes, he wants to become, yes, it's not all about power and everything. It's just you enjoying the journey. Plus, if he wanted to get stronger, he could always train. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. So after that, Belle goes ahead and shakes it off, as he goes ahead and turns to his goddess. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and leave you here. As he goes ahead and picks up his katana and leaves to go to the dungeon once again. So we're gonna go ahead and do a time skip to eventually the next day, as once again Belle had brought a bag of money home. However, when he returns there, he would actually be in shock to see Hestia, who was now actually dressed up in a coat, and it seemed like she was going somewhere. And where are you going? He would ask, confused. At this, she would go ahead and explain to him that she was going to some sort of banquet with the other gods and goddesses, where she goes ahead and shrugs, telling her to be safe out there, and that to go ahead and, have fun or whatever. And at hearing this encouraging words, she goes ahead and, thanks Belle by giving him a hug while snuggling up into his chest, when he just goes ahead and gives her a head pat. Yeah, now go off. At this, she goes ahead and does so with a smile, and she goes ahead and leaves. Actually has a good idea in mind. Now, there's actually been a secret that Hestia's been keeping, and she's been hiding her emotions, her real one. Well, one of her emotions, as that was being, the feeling of feeling useless. Now, even though she would never admit it to Belle, she had felt useless as a goddess. I mean, seriously, she really wondered who was taking care of who. Was Belle taking care of her, or was she taking care of Belle? Considering the fact that literally Belle seemed like he didn't even need her. All the time, Belle was the one that being in the dungeon. He never asked for her help in anything. And even when she like even when Belle never even complained about the money, because considering the fact that he always came back home with a bunch of it. The only thing she ever did was actually buy, potato croquettes one time for them to eat. And just seeing Belle being thankful about it and acting as if it was like the most amazing thing in the world, she really wondered, what has she done as a goddess? So after that, she decided that she was going to go ahead and make herself useful to Belle. So she decided, hey, Belle's already heck of enough, powerful enough. So why don't I go ahead and give him gear that goes ahead and helps him with that? And she believes that Belle needs a good weapon. Don't get me wrong, he's strong enough already without it, but she still wanted to give him something. She still wanted to feel useful. So she decided that she was going to use up a lot of the money that Belle went ahead and got for them to go ahead and, get a weapon for Belle. Now, Belle, he didn't really care much about the weapon, considering the fact that he can make use with nearly anything. Hey, he can fight a monster with his bare hands. But then again, he's not gonna lie, he likes katana because one, they're super actually really cool to use, and two, they look dope as hell. I mean, come on now. Come on, guys. You gotta be honest here. You cannot lie. Katanas are awesome. I mean, shoot. I was just walking around the streets and I saw a guy with a katana. Actually, just walked the other way, considering like who the heck walks in the streets with a katana? But it's a fake one, then shoot. Hey, I would ask where I can get one of those fake katanas, bro. Walking around with them, dope as hell. But let me continue on. So after that, Belle, seeing his goddess leave, he would go ahead and just really wonder what the heck is up with her. But then again, he had no time for it, considering the fact that he decides that heck, while she's away, he's gonna go ahead and begin training once again to find out just how strong he could really get and how far he could go into the dungeon. So with that, Belle would once again pick up the katana that he had gotten. Not really anything fancy, just not really a fancy katana, and go off to the dungeon once again. So now we go ahead and cut to Belle, who's now walking towards the dungeon, ready to go on his adventure. However, this is when he actually stops, when he sees Seer, who's actually right there at the tavern, looking like she was waiting for someone, with a lunchbox in her hand. Now at this, Belle really wonders who she was waiting for, but then again, it's none of his business. So he goes ahead and continues walking, until suddenly he would then hear a voice. "Hey you!" she would say, screaming out for Belle. At this, Belle will go ahead and turn to her, as Seer went ahead and walked up to Belle with the lunchbox in hand and a ginormous blush on her face. "Well, you see, I didn't want to make you get hungry, so I went ahead and she goes ahead and mumbles the last part. At this, Belle really did not really know why she was doing this, but then again, there was no way he was going to go ahead and let a gift go to waste. So with that, he goes ahead and grabs Seer's hand, causing the girl to once again blush, as he goes ahead and takes the lunchbox with a smile on his face. "Thank you," he would say. At this, she was right now like really close into passing out due to how red her face was getting, as Belle would go ahead and walk off, as he goes and puts a toothpick in his mouth while walking off. "She was really nice," he would say. So with that, we go ahead and now change scenes once again, as we now see at the banquet. We see a bunch of the gods and goddesses there, as they were all just there, looking as if they were, pretty much enjoying themselves. Now, unlike in canon where Hestia was like, going ahead and smuggling food, actually, you know what, scratch that. She will still be smuggling food, because I'm not even gonna lie, bruh. Like, I'm not even gonna lie to you, bro. I have done the same thing. Okay, so I don't know if you guys really like want to know about this, or really like if you guys want me to do like a little video, like some videos about me like telling stuff about myself or stuff like that, then I guess I could do it if you guys want. But either way, just a little fun fact about Dre's age. There was once my aunt once had like a wedding. I remember my family and I were invited, and I was the only one, because I remember I snuck in a bunch. Like, everyone in my family, we went ahead and bought a bunch of bags and stuff like that. My mom literally stuffed a bunch of food in her purse. Me, I brought my entire freaking boot bag in there. And I remember I put in an entire tray's worth of food inside there. And I remember some people caught me. I was like, look the other way. This doesn't concern you. So, yeah. So, if you guys want, like, a full story about it, I can go ahead and, like, make a video telling you about it. But let me continue on. I don't want to get sidetracked here. But I'm not going to lie to you. Just, P.S. wedding food is the bomb, bro. I'm not even gonna lie. But let me continue on. So after all that was, so after she goes ahead and gets caught by her dear friend, the goddess of beauty, she goes ahead and begins to, talk to her, even though she says that she really doesn't really like her. It's in the fact that she gets almost every single man's attention. And by that, I mean, like, she really doesn't want this woman to meet Belle, especially since Belle would definitely fall for her. Now, while this is happening, however, this is suddenly when they will then hear an annoying voice, as this will be Loki. Now, Loki, she would have appeared there. She wouldn't say, oh, look, it's the little brat here. And this is where they have the same exchange like they do in canon. However, this is when things actually go a little bit different, though. As when she goes ahead and says, so tell me, are you still broke and everything? This is where Hestia will actually go ahead and give her a smirk. Actually, for your information, just the other day ago, I bought myself an entire house. Plus, dude, thanks to my new familia, we're nearly rich, she would say. At this is where Loki actually then says, oh yeah, the little wolf boy of yours. Now, this is actually where things go a little bit different. Now, considering the fact that in canon, Belle was sort of was like a rabbit, considering the fact that, the color of his hair, and the way that he had like frail skin, like he looked frail as hell, bro. So people like compared him to a rabbit, but this time, Belle is different. He's more built, his body has like more of a built feature. He has this wild nature that just seems to glow into his eyes, plus how his eyes are like slitted, and the way that every single time you're next to him, it feels like you're just in the presence of a predator while you're the prey. It literally makes him, people call him like the white wolf, even though he's not really a wolf. But still, it would have been cool though. So with that, Hestia will go ahead and nod, while Loki goes ahead and says, well, that boy of yours, he's actually really interesting. I actually saw him at a tavern once. He gave off a very odd aura. Tell me, what was that? She would say. And she was now actually very keen interested on Belle. Unlike how in canon, considering the fact that he really wasn't much. But this time she was actually interested. What ability does this guy had? Especially that purplish aura that he shot out. It interested her. Not as much as she was interested in eyes, but still, it interests her. Now at this point, the goddess of beauty was also interested, considering the fact that, I don't know about her, but she has like the weird thing for Belle. Yeah. So she goes ahead and actually wonders what she's talking about. And this is where Hestia actually begins to sweat. Belle, when did you meet her? And she really begins to wonder how the heck does she even know about Belle, and that she might just get in trouble for this one. However, lucky the whole situation was defused by her friend coming in. That being Hephaestus, the blacksmith goddess, yeah. As she would have gone ahead and appeared, this would have diffused the whole situation, with Loki just shrugging off and walking away, and pretty much everyone just calming down after that. Now, after seeing Hephaestus, Hestia would instantly jump into action. She goes ahead and bows her head down to Hephaestus, and she then says, Hephaestus, I've really been looking for you, she'll say. At this, Hephaestus would then say, what, looking for me? Okay, let me be blunt about this. I'm not giving you a single drop of money. Now, hearing this, this would cause Hestia to sweat drop. She then says, no thanks. I'm actually pretty good on money, she would say. As she then remembers the large amount of stacks. As she then realized something. Oh my god, if I'm not away to waste that money, how much money is Belle gonna make while I'm gone? At this, she then begins to imagine them buying a mansion soon. And she goes ahead and really nearly drools at just how much money Belle can make. At this, Hephaestus would just look at her friend in confusion. And she then says, are you good? With her, this is where Hestia would just blush sheepishly, saying, oh no, nothing. And she goes ahead and, really wonders what is up with her friend. But she goes ahead and shrugs it off, not really gonna have to deal with it. As this is where Hestia would actually bow to her friend. Well, actually not bow, but she would go ahead and ask her friend if she can make her a weapon. And she would ask why and does she have the money for it, which she goes ahead and nods. And she says that she wants it for Belle. And this is where Hephaestus is like, oh, the little wolf boy? Yeah, what's up? At this, she goes ahead. This is where Hestia actually begins to explain something to her friend, considering the fact that she's one of the few goddesses that she actually, one of the few gods and goddesses that she actually trusts. And she begins to say sort of a short version of it. and that Bell's becoming too strong for his own good, and that all the weapons that he have are too weak for him to use, and that he needs a strong one. Now, hearing this, you actually really wonder how strong was this new person, this new addition to the Hestia Familia. Considering the fact she never really met the boy personally herself, so she was really interested. So with that, Hephaestus just shrugs and says, "Fine, you give me the money, I'll make the weapon." And at hearing this will cause Hestia to jump up in joy and tell her that she will be right back with the money. She goes ahead and runs off to get the money and to give it to Hephaestus. So after that, we go ahead and do a time skip to when Hestia has the money, and she would have gone ahead and paid for, the new weapon, which that being a jet black katana. Now, it would look similar to Ichigo's banquet, when at the Soul Society. Yeah, when he went ahead and achieved it. So it would look similar to that, except instead of being, black and red, it would actually be black and purple. And it would have the enchantment on it, the same one that was on the dagger. Now, at seeing this weapon, she would just, jump up in happiness, as Hestia couldn't believe how amazing her friend was. Her Hephaestus gotta admit, this was gotta be one of her best works. No, this has to be her best work. She goes ahead and gives it to her friend Hestia, where she goes ahead and thanks Hestia for doing business with her, with Hestia just nodding her head at that. So with that, now having a new katana, she plans to go ahead and give it to Bell, and she really plans to really see the happy and joyous look on his face. But before she goes, she then thinks, wait a minute, I can go ahead and turn it into a date. Now at saying the word date, she'll go ahead and actually blush while also having a small little trickle of blood going down her nose, considering the fact that Hestia was having a little bit of perverted thoughts. And I hope you're not doing the same thing, because I know some of y'all perverts. I know you, bro. You cannot hide from the truth. I know some. All right, so let me continue on. So we go ahead and now cut to Bells. He once again had brought back a large bag of money, as once again he had spent a large time in the dungeon. Well, I'm gonna take a break, he would say, as he goes ahead and cooks up a meal, as he then realizes that tomorrow his goddess is returning back home, so he wonders if he should make a big old feast for her welcome back. So at this, he goes ahead and decides, heck, why not? So he decides to prepare preparation for this ginormous feast that we're planning to have. Now, when that's going ahead and happening, we go ahead and now see in a very mysterious place, we see this person with white hair. She then says, is everything in preparation? She would ask. At this, the men will nod. She then says, good. Prepare to release the beast. And this would make every single one of them nod, and suddenly we will see two red eyes appear in a cage. So we now do a time skip to the next day, where we see Bell just there waiting for his goddess to return. Where is she? He would say. It's just on cue. A black-haired missile will go ahead and shoot towards his chest as she begins to nuzzle on it. Bell! Hestia would say as she goes ahead and snuggles up to him. At this, Bell can go ahead and sigh, as it didn't matter what they were doing. If they were in public or at home, she would do some of the most embarrassing things. And one of them being launching herself like a missile and snuggling up to his chest. Hey, Hestia. I know I've said this multiple times, but when are you ever going to stop doing this? At this, she'll go ahead and say, never. As he just shrugs his shoulders. He has no idea what he's going to do, his goddess. So with that, Belle will go ahead and pat her on the head, once again letting her to release him. As she then says that, she would then ask if Belle wanted to go on a date. With Belle going ahead and just shrugging off, saying, sure. With this, she'll go ahead and actually be very happy if she goes ahead and takes Belle on this date. So, while they're on the date, things were going actually surprisingly well. They stopped by to get crepes. They actually returned back home. Well, actually, you know what? Never mind. Scratch that. Considering the fact that Belle actually prepared something for her welcome back home dinner, as everything was sort of in the oven, right there, allowing it to still remain heated until they return back home. So while they're going ahead and enjoying their time, this is when suddenly Belle will then sense a presence. Now at this, they were just, sitting down on the grass enjoying their meal until Bell suddenly stands up instantly. Bell? At this, he would go ahead and pull out his katana as he then says, Hestia, stay behind me, he would say, in a very commanding tone. At this, Hestia would actually feel a little bit unnerved, considering the fact that whenever Bell usually talked to her, he mostly talked to her with this bored yet kind attitude. So when hearing him speak like that, she was so confused until suddenly a beast would then go ahead and burst through it. At this beast would have this weird thing over its face, sort of looked like a mask, as it was now seemingly looking for something. As suddenly we will then hear a feminine voice. Look for the one with the hair like mine, she would say. At this, the beast would go ahead and spot Bell and Hestia as he begins to rush towards them. Oh heck, oh no you don't, he would say, as he goes ahead and jumps off towards the beast, as Bell goes ahead and uses just one slash, to go ahead and push you away. Now he didn't cut it with the sharp half of the katana, he used the blunt half, of course, just to push it away from the goddess, considering the fact that he didn't really want her to get hurt. Now as seen this, Hestia begins to scream for Bell, however he was too busy fighting against the beast to really listen to her. So now on the other side, we see a bunch more of the beasts actually now entering, and this causes panic to begin to ensure around the city. However, just in an instant, we then see the Sword Princess herself, eyes appear and take down the monsters in an instant. That's my eyes, said Loki, as she actually went ahead and came here, considering the fact that one of the peepers, one of the people at the Adventurer Guild actually asked her to go ahead and take care of this problem, and which she instantly agreed to and rushed off. While she did this, Loki decided to follow her, considering the fact that, Eyes was her favorite, so of course she was going to follow her, because, she a simp. So, yeah. So after she goes ahead and takes care of this, she asks if there was more, which some people would nod to, saying that there was another one, which she goes ahead and goes to it. Now back with, Bell. Bell was defeating this thing like it was nothing, alright? He had already defeated one. All he had to do was go ahead and slash down with his katana, cutting the thing cleanly in half, destroying it in an instant. However, due to this, his katana would have been shattered in an instant. Fuck, he would say, as he barely had it for a week. So with this, he goes ahead and collects the crystal. However, they will both be interrupted when another one that was actually even bigger than the last one appears and tries to attack Bell once again. Bring it on, he would say, as he goes ahead and begins to jump up against it, actually using I believe it was called like Monoskin, to push himself even faster and to make him faster and jump higher. So yeah, as he goes ahead and he goes and punches the beast in the stomach, sending it flying away, as he tells Hestia to run away while he takes care of the problem. At this, Hestia, being stubborn, with saying that she was not going to leave him, with him telling her you're not doing the right thing and that we really have to escape from here. However, just as he's right now concentrating on her, his senses will begin to act up as suddenly a ginormous rock was sent towards Hestia. Now seeing this, Bell would then say, what the hell? As he was no way in a million years gonna allow that to happen. As in an instant, Bell would just vanish and appear right in front of the rock, destroying it with his fists completely. You try to hurt my goddess? At this, giant purple aura will begin to shoot out of him as he then opens his eyes. I'll kill you. Now, at seeing, Belle's determination to save her and everything, Hestia would just blush as she then thinks, now's the time. As she goes ahead and grabs Belle's arm just as he was about to jump off to take care of the beast. Wait, Belle, she would say. Now, at this, Belle would go ahead and turn to her, only to realize that she was giving him something. At this, right in front of him would then be a jet black katana with a little bit of purple markings in it as well. What the? He would say. As this is where Hestia would go ahead and say that this was a very high leveled weapon that was all meant for him. Now at this, he would go ahead and say a high class weapon, you mean? Which he goes ahead and nods, of course. As he goes ahead and looks at it. You know you didn't have to give me that, right? When she goes ahead and says, like, you know what, screw it, just use it already. She would say, she says that she didn't want to be, become a failure of a goddess, trying to have that inspirational speech, of course, trying to have that main character moment. And after hearing this, Belle, at first, he feels a little bit upset that his goddess would even think like that, but then again, he feels eternally grateful for her once again. So with that, he goes ahead and takes the katana. As soon as he does, the enchantment would instantly begin to activate, as he could already feel the katana already, feeling stronger. Oh. Yeah, he would definitely hold on to this. As Belle would turn to the beast that was now just getting up and rushing towards him now, destroying a bunch of the things. This is where actually Eyes and Loki, Eyes would have actually appeared during this time to actually look as everyone else was looking as well. As Belle would then say, I have to admit, I never have these main character badass moments of mine, but I have to admit, you really make the fun. You really allow me to have this moment. So I thank you for that. At this, Belle would then, instantly allow his katana to be enveloped in dark magic, of course, as his grimoire would then begin to flow in front of him. As he then says, allow me to thank you. As suddenly dark magic would begin to shoot out of it at a very rapid pace, as he would go ahead and, pull back on his katana, as he then says, dark cloak. As he goes ahead and swings, lifeless slash. At this, only a couple people could have seen it, including the goddesses. As suddenly, in an instant, a dark slash would go ahead and rush at the beast. As suddenly, in an instant, the beast would then be cut in half. Silence, pure silence would go ahead and spread throughout the entire area. No one even moving. As suddenly, the beast would then explode. As once again, a ginormous crystal would then hit the ground. As everyone was just speechless. This man had just defeated the beast in one shot. Literally like it was nothing. At this, even Ice was impressed, considering the fact that she couldn't even defeat that in one shot. It literally took at least like 2 or 3 slashes, and that was it. So, seeing this, yeah, she was impressed. Now, at this, Belle will go ahead and just, once again, sheath his katana, as he gotta admit, this has got to be the best weapon that he has ever gotten. And probably will be the best weapon. As he then turns to Hestia with a smile on his face. Thank you, he would say. Now, at seeing Belle's smile, Hestia can do nothing more but faint. As right now, it seemed like as if everything was a dream. As she really felt like she was a princess right now, getting rescued by her prince. At this, Belle would go ahead and sweat drop. She will never change, he would say, rubbing his 2 fingers on his eyebrows. At this, everyone would go ahead and begin to cheer for Belle, while Eyes and Loki, who actually saw the entire thing, would look on in interest. So that's Belle Cornell, she would say. And she has to admit, each time that she meets him, the more time she's interested. Not the way that you're thinking, but she's just interested in how powerful is he. And Loki, she was right now thinking like, so that's the guy in Hestia's group, she would say. And she has to admit, Belle was definitely something. I'm getting interested, she would say with a smile on her face. So, what is happening here? So, now that Loki has come across Belle Cornell, what do you think will happen now? Do you think that she would want Belle to join her familia? What do you think is the interest? What interest do you think Eyes has in Belle? What type of relationship will Belle have? What type of goddess or what type of person went ahead and sent that beast towards Belle? Well, we're just going to have to find out on the next part as we go ahead and end this part to the what if. But right before we do so, we actually see deep in a dungeon, we see this girl carrying a backpack, as she was once again with this group. As the group would then say, well, come on, twerp, he would say. As the girl will go ahead and give them a lifeless smile, she then says, coming, she would say, as she goes ahead and walks off with them. I hate adventurers. As this will be truly the end of this part to this what if, and I hope you guys do enjoy. Come back for the next part, and either way, it is Great Zage, and yeah, I am out. Peace.